I mean, they asked them a question today, and I'm sure if you're of the type of person who just always hates the one team and loves what the other one does, they asked them a question about the crash. They said, will you visit the crash site? Now, every other politician would go, of course, it was a tragedy. And he went, it's the water. What do you want me to do, swim there? You know? And I was like, exactly, fuck right. You're exactly right. It's a stupid question, and you got just the answer you deserve.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say, they talk at you, not to you.
Bill Maher has absolutely shredded The View's ladies yet again. This time, calling out their woke nonsense live on air. The comedian, infamous for his brutal takes, spotted the hypocrisy leaking out from the women on The View and didn't hold back. His words hit like a freight train, exposing their double standards for everyone to see. And trust me, we've got all the receipts. Buckle up, because this is about to get wild. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more sizzling moments like this.
Well, I had a different question. But it struck me that in the first segment you used the term woke, and you said that woke is what was sort of ruining everything. And I know that you're
No, I didn't say ruining everything. I said that's why Trump could get reelected.
That's why Trump could get reelected.
That's the woke playbook in a nutshell. Twist people's words, misinterpret their intent, and spread misinformation like wildfire. It's not about honest debate. It's about narrative control. They've been doing it to Trump for years, bending every quote and headline to fit their agenda, painting him as some kind of cartoon villain. It's second nature to them. It's in their blood. So when one of their own, Bill Maher, walked into their studio, they just couldn't help themselves. They tried the same tired tactic, twisting his words to trap him in a gotcha moment. But Maher, he wasn't having any of it. He shot back instantly, correcting the record with laser focus before they could spin it further. You could see the discomfort in the room. The moment someone breaks from the hive mind, the woke crowd doesn't know what to do. And Maher, he stood his ground like a pro.
The term woke has been, in my view, co-opted by the right and weaponized and bastardized. And so I was surprised to hear you use the term, because historically, as you know, because I think you're quite brilliant, that woke is a word used by the Black community to note that we must be aware of social injustices.
But words
and
migrate.
So why is that a bad thing?
It's not a bad thing, and originally that was absolutely a great thing. Alert to injustice, who's not for that? But words do migrate. Now, I'll use any term you want,
okay,
because maybe that is a word that's triggering, and so let's not use that word. I don't know, want to call it the super far left?
Sunny Hostin is clearly hoping to land a knockout blow by cornering Maher for being anti-woke. But from the moment she opened her mouth, you could tell it wasn't going to end well for her. She rubbed her forehead, avoided eye contact, and delivered her line with all the confidence of someone walking into a trap they set themselves. You could almost see the panic brewing, because deep down, she knew Maher was about to dismantle her argument with surgical precision. Sunny kicked things off by blaming the right for hijacking and weaponizing the word woke, claiming conservatives twisted its meaning to attack progress. But Maher wasn't having it. Calm, collected, and locked in, he quickly set the record straight. He pointed out that it wasn't some conservative PR machine that redefined woke. It was the left's own behavior that turned the term into a punchline. According to Maher, when progressives started policing language, canceling people over microaggressions, and obsessing over identity politics, they handed their critics all the ammunition they needed. And Maher? He just pulled the trigger with facts. Realizing that Maher had gotten the upper hand and they were facing defeat, they summoned the queen of woke, Whoopi Goldberg.
How dare you be so flippant, man? Nobody on the planet really wants to go through this. This is not something we're doing because it's, sexually gratifying. This is what we're doing to protect our families. And you don't have to do it, but stay away from everybody. Because if you're the one who's not paying attention and you're coughing and sneezing, you don't want to then stay out of the public, man. This is not, nobody wants this.
Whoopi really came in hot, launching into full attack mode and trying to shred Maher into pieces for daring to challenge the sacred circle of The View. With dramatic flair, she called him flippant, accusing him of being dismissive and disrespectful for the unforgivable crime of siding with facts over feelings. According to Whoopi, Maher's refusal to toe the progressive line was somehow a personal betrayal. But Maher, he wasn't rattled, not even close. He's been in the game too long to be shaken by theatrical outrage. While Whoopi tried to paint him as out of touch or insensitive, Maher calmly doubled down, standing firm on the side of reason and reality. He pointed out the dangerous trend of prioritizing emotion over evidence and how it's fueling division, not progress. The audience, you could feel the tension. Maher wasn't backing down, and he didn't need to raise his voice to win the moment. He just let the truth do the talking. In an act of what I'll term divine retribution, Whoopi Goldberg was yanked off The View for claiming that the Holocaust wasn't racially motivated.
This morning, more fallout for Whoopi Goldberg. ABC News suspending Goldberg from The View for 2 weeks after she made controversial comments about Jewish people and the Holocaust on Monday's episode.
The Holocaust isn't about race. It's not about race.
What is it about?
Because it's about man's inhumanity to man.
Her comments sparked an immediate uproar, igniting backlash across social media and mainstream outlets alike. The network executives had no choice but to act swiftly, handing Whoopi a 2-week suspension that sent shockwaves through daytime television. For many of Maher's fans, it felt like poetic justice, a little dose of karma coming just days after Whoopi had launched an unprovoked attack on Maher. The timing was almost too perfect to ignore, but even in what many viewed as a clear-cut win, Maher chose the high road. Rather than gloat, he called for Whoopi to be reinstated, reminding everyone that freedom of speech doesn't just apply when it's convenient. It was a bold, gracious move that showed the contrast between Maher's commitment to open dialogue and the cancel-happy culture that The View often seems to represent. In an era of outrage, mobs, and digital takedowns, Maher proved that standing by principle matters more than scoring easy points.
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious. Now, I mentioned this karma stuff on the show last week because I was relating how many texts and emails I got from people congratulating me on receiving a karmagram from the universe in the form of Whoopi Goldberg's chastisement.
However, behind the calm exterior, Maher couldn't help but find the whole situation hilarious. The irony was just too rich to ignore. The hunter had become the hunted. Whoopi, who strutted into that conversation thinking she had the upper hand, ended up walking straight into a trap of her own making. She didn't just misfire. She got trampled by lions, mauled by her own words, and metaphorically eaten by bears, all because she thought it was a good idea to go after March. He didn't even need to lift a finger. Her downfall was self-inflicted, served up on a silver platter of hypocrisy and self-righteousness. And while Maher maintained a measured public response, you just know he was smirking behind the scenes. Because when you spend your days preaching outrage and attacking others for speaking uncomfortable truths, it's only a matter of time before that outrage turns on you. And in this case, the beast she fed came back hungry for her.
When they don't have anything to hold you with, nothing to make you think about what they have to say, they talk at you, not to you.
Whoopi, in her usual defiant style, shot back at Maher with the kind of fire that's become her trademark. You'd think that after Maher extended her a rare public courtesy, gracefully calling for her reinstatement and refusing to dance on her professional grave, the last thing she would do is come after him again. But nope, not Whoopi. If anything, she doubled down. Because if there's one thing Whoopi Goldberg has mastered, it's the art of biting the hand that offers help. Ingratitude isn't just a moment for her, it's a whole persona. Rather than reflect on Maher's measured response, she took it as an invitation to reignite the feud. She dismissed his defense like it never happened and continued her crusade, proving once again that some folks don't just reject humility, they actively run from it. It was a reminder that for certain voices in the media, loyalty to narrative outweighs logic, facts, or even basic decency.
Before we go, I want to say...
No, we're not going anywhere yet.
Okay, but I just want to say one thing, as we were talking in the break.
Yeah.
Joy is a wonderful human being, and she should not be afraid that people are going to attack her because she said the thing about the swastika on the cap.
Well,
she does not think that as you said to me in the break, you do not think that all the people who are for Trump are Nazis.
No, I don't.
You
I
don't.
I just want them to pay attention to words like vermin and poisoning the blood and the Third Reich. That's all. That's really what I'm asking.
Bill Maher even brilliantly called out Joy Behar, reminding her point blank to stand her ground and not cower in fear of the ever-looming woke mob. It was a subtle but powerful moment, one that exposed a much deeper issue, the performative nature of The View's panel. In urging Behar to hold her position, Maher shed light on the uncomfortable truth that these women often know the mob's ideas are extreme or flat-out contradictory, but they go along with them anyway to avoid backlash. And that's where Maher struck gold. By challenging Behar directly, he peeled back the curtain and revealed how frequently the ladies on The View pander to woke ideology, even when those very policies clash with their own common sense or past opinions. It's fear-driven compliance dressed up as moral clarity, and Maher wasn't afraid to say it out loud.
I mean, they asked them a question today, and I'm sure if you're of the type of person who just always hates the one team and loves what the other one does, they asked them a question about the crash. And they said, will you visit the crash site? Now, every other politician would go, of course, it was a tragedy. And he went, it's the water. What do you want me to do, swim there? You know? And I was like, exactly, fuck right. You're exactly right. It's a stupid question, and you got just the answer you deserve.
Maher has come to a realization that many in Hollywood still refuse to admit. Donald Trump, for all his flaws, is the real deal. He doesn't pretend to be someone he's not. He doesn't mask his flaws with polished speeches or scripted empathy. And in an age where so many politicians pander, pivot, and posture, that raw authenticity sets Trump apart. Maher, ever the truth seeker, seems to respect that. He sees through the political theater and acknowledges Trump's unapologetic style, even if he doesn't agree with everything the former president says or does. That's likely why Maher occasionally defends him, much to the irritation of some of his longtime fans, and certainly to the dismay of the ladies on The View. They can't stand the idea that a liberal icon like Maher would dare deviate from the script. But Maher's not interested in tribal loyalty. He's interested in calling it like it is. In the end, Maher proved he's not afraid to challenge the narrative, even if it means clashing with the woke elite or defending Trump. While The View plays to the mob, Maher plays to the truth. And in a world obsessed with outrage, that kind of honesty isn't just rare, it's revolutionary. Love him or hate him, Maher's not backing down. And with that, we end today's video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.